hello to you, I am Ismar Whittle, and I hope I can make you feel calm, relaxed and good today in this, video about Norway, in which I tell you what not to do when traveling to Norway. It was a requested video and I decided to do it. So, when you travel to Norway, you should be aware that Norway is a great country. I'm just going to open that with lots of great stuff. But there are some things you shouldn't do when traveling to Norway. So I can just go with the first. Whatever you do when you are in Norway, don't offend or trolls. Like seriously, don't offend the trolls of Norway. Because Norway is very fond of trolls, and I don't mean social media trolls now, I mean actual trolls. Like, not those people online who pretend to be trolls. I mean true trolls. Like these ones. these, Yeah, you can get these all over Norwegian souvenir shops. And these are the true trolls, They're so much better than the trolls on social media. I mean, if anyone asked me whether I wanted to have dinner with a real troll or a social media troll, I would choose a real troll every time. These things aren't just pretending to be trolls; they're actual trolls, So yeah. And if you visit Norway, you can pick up trolls, which are like a staple in Norwegian fairy tales and like a symbol of the Norwegian nation. You can pick them up in pretty much any souvenir shop in the country. I'm pretty sure of it. Yay. Okay. So that was the beautiful Norwegian trolls. Okay, don't offend Norwegian later, like say things which aren't positive about Norwegian nature, because Norwegians are actually very proud of the nature in their country. And whatever you do, don't offend our king. No, our king is like super popular, so we are not going to get anywhere by saying bad things about our kings. I don't know, most Norwegians aren't going to understand if you do that. No, like seriously, if you start talking about how you think Norway ought to be a republic, don't do it. I mean, there are people in Norway who are for the republic, but even those who are pro republic, even most of them admit that the king is a very popular man. So yeah, don't try to start a revolution while in a country, please. It will not work. Anyway, and also, if you're here on Constitution Day, show respect for how we celebrate a Constitution Day by having, children parades. Because there are children from all over schools across the country who participate in children parades on Constitution Day and wave the flags of Norway and sing national anthems. I did so myself when I was a child. In Norway we don't have a military parade, we have a children parade instead. And it's sort of like the heart and soul of the Norwegian nation. Anyway, so I told you not to offend trolls or kings. But just to be clear, you can, no one will care if you offend the social media trolls, but don't offend the actual trolls, No. So yeah. When it comes to Norwegians, if you sit on a bus, you take bus, starting to suddenly talk to a stranger next to you, while some people can react positively to it, it can be a so-so thing because people in Norway are not used to, when they sit on a bus, to have strangers talk with them, and this can make buses in Norway seem a little silent and a little awkward, maybe to some foreigners, like, why aren't people talking to each other? But it's just a custom. You don't randomly start to talk with strangers when you sit beside them on the bus. I mean, there are maybe people who do, but the custom is sort of not to do so. I know it's a weird custom for some people, but it's just how Norway is. Also, don't go around and start asking people you don't know in Norway, like strangers, super personal questions. They may get suspicious of you. If you do, they don't. You can ask them for directions. You can tell them to have a nice day, and you can talk about yourself if you wish, and you can just share, and you can of course just talk about daily stuff. But if you start asking strangers very personal questions and stuff about their lives, while some may react positively to it, a lot of Norwegians probably will become a little suspicious. They may find that a little odd. Yeah. But of course you can ask a Norwegian for direction, and you can have, and there are absolutely Norwegians you can have cozy daily chats with if you wish. And most Norwegians will be friendly and provide directions if you need it. So yeah, don't worry about that. No. And most Norwegians can also be they can share a lot of themselves and be very much nicer and friendly once you get to know them. But sometimes Norwegians can, at times, not every Norwegian, but some Norwegians can seem a little cold and distant at first before you get to know them. I think it's just, the harsh and cold winters and just the cold climate which has shaped the Norwegian mentality into being a little more defensive towards strangers. Yeah. Okay, don't offend the Norse gods. Okay, that was a joke. Most people today in Norway don't follow the old Norse gods anymore, but we learn a lot about the old Norse gods and Vikings and stuff in schools. So yeah, so Thor with the hammer and Odin and stuff are like very famous and legendary figures in our country, even before the MCU did their versions of it, just to be clear. We're talking about the original legends here now. Yeah, so I grew up hearing about like Thor with the hammer and Odin and stuff like that. It's sort of obligatory stuff in Norwegian schools. Is there anything more I could tell you when you travel to Norway? Yeah. Well, otherwise I'd say most of the other stuff is like, it's like the same rules it is everywhere else. Like, don't go around offending people, be nice, respectful towards the country and its people. The same stuff it would be anywhere, really. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just thinking if there are any more advice I could give you, because I feel like giving you some good advice already. Yeah, actually, don't what when you are in Norway, don't don't when you visit a square in a town or a city, don't put yourself up on some sort of pedestal and start screaming some political messages. It will not bring anything good, trust me. Everyone in Norway who does that just causes chaos and confusion. Like, this is not some country where starting a revolution will work. Norwegians aren't like that. So if you start to just scream and shout a lot of random revolutionary words, all you will do is cause confusion in the crowds assembled aside. Most will just look weirdly at you, and other people will like just start fighting and debating with each other. Yeah, you cannot unite a crowd in Norway the way you can in some other countries. So don't even try. Trust me, there are people who have tried and it just doesn't work. No. The results of it in Norway have just been like hilarious, to put it mildly. Yeah. You can do it in an organized way, of course, if you're Norwegian, but definitely don't do it like randomly. It will not work. Yeah. So that was some travel advice. I hope you can just find this a little relaxing. So yeah, that's some travel advice for you non-Norwegians when you travel to Norway. Also, don't throw your weight around. Like, don't be bossy. Norwegians generally are not fond of bossy people. And Norwegians are very independence loving. That means we like their own independence, and that means that if you are the boss at a company in Norway, you have to have the respect of your workers, or else your workers will just don't care one bit what you say or do. You have to have a respect, or the people who work for you will just ignore you, or just eventually maybe even vote you out, or maybe even sort of, yeah. When you are a boss in Norway of people, it's usually an advantage to have their respect, because Norwegians are very independent loving. And when Nazi Germany occupied Norway during 1940s, they sort of thought they would have the respect of the nation, so the soldiers tried to be friendly to many Norwegians, but a lot of Norwegians just turned their backs to them because they didn't like to be occupied. Norwegians are not friendly to people who boss them around. Most Norwegians aren't that. So if you start bossing other people around, yeah, you may not be that very much, you may not be that liked in Norway, just to be clear. A lot of Norwegians don't like that. Anyway, but other than that, I hope you enjoy your country, and yeah, and there are a lot of great places to see and watch, and also don't offend the Norwegian flag. We love our flags. So yeah, anyway, I think that's true for any country. Don't offend the flags. No. Anyway, so yeah, I hope I've given you some helpful advice. I hope people don't take this video too seriously, but there are actually some truth to what I'm saying. And yeah, and I hope you enjoy your visit to Norway, and just be friendly and nice to people, and I think things will work out alright for you. And enjoy our nature and the people there, I hope. And I wish you all the best, and if you ever visit Norway, I hope you have a great time there. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, and hopefully, if you visit Norway, a great journey.